Jai Hind everyone. Today I am going to start the new topic that is conditional statements in PPS. So as we know that while we are programming, certain times or most of the time we come into the situation when we need to decide which option to be executed at this time. We have multiple options to choose from. So for that purpose, conditional statements are being defined in the C language. And these conditional statements are also known as branching statements. So the conditional statements will always provide you the true value and false value, means the result is based upon the condition result, which is either true or false. So for true results, we will have to write the non-zero values, means if any non-zero value is being returned by the condition in that particular case, it means it is a true condition. And if a 0 is being returned by any condition, it means it is a false condition. So, how many types of conditional statement are present or provided by the C language is there are basically two conditional statements which are more popular. So, first is if statement and second is switch statement. So, in this particular lecture, we are going to discuss only if statement, and in the coming lecture, we will discuss the switch statement in the next lecture. So, what is if statement? If statement is implemented with various forms depending on the complexity of conditions to be tested. Or in simple terms, we can say that if condition is nothing but it is a two-way decision making statement. Means when we have two options, that is A and B, in that particular case, we go with if statement. So based upon the complexity of the program, we can modify or inculcate the if statement in either of the four ways, that is simple if statement, if else statement, nested if else statement, and else if later. So one by one we are going to discuss all these four with the help while studying their syntax, their examples and their flow of execution. So first we are going to discuss simple if statement. So as we discussed already, what is simple if statement? If statement is a two-way decision making statement. So when we are talking about simple if, it means that we are not going with the else part. We are going with only one option, that is A. We are only checking for either true condition or false condition. Only one condition is being checked. Else part is not written with the if statement. So if we talk about the syntax, so this is going to be the syntax, that is if and within bracket test condition, that is test expression is being written. This is what the condition, and this condition is checked. If this condition is true, in that particular case, the statement block will be executed. Otherwise, statement X will be executed. So if we check with the flow chart how the flow of execution is being done, so test expression is being written in the decision box, and if it is true, this particular statement block is being executed. But if this expression is false, in that case, the control will directly come to statement X. Let's consider one example. So it is being written, you have to find out the absolute value of a given number. So for this, a number is being taken, and here user entered a number n, and now condition is checked. If n is 0, then only n is equals to minus n. Means what is going to happen here? How we are saying that this example is justifying the simple if statement? Because when we are calculating the absolute number, it only means we are going to print only the number part. We are not including its sign. Means we are not telling the user that it is plus, minus or any other sign. We are only telling that this is the digit, that is the absolute value of the data. So for that purpose, if a number is positive, then we need not to perform any kind of change to that, because we directly print the value n as it is. But if user enters a negative number, in that particular case, we have to remove that minus sign from the front of the number. Then only we are going to able to print the absolute value of the data. So for that case, condition is being written if n is less than 0, then only this processing is being done, that is n equal to minus n. Otherwise, statement X here is print the value of n. So if condition is true, data will get changed as per the processing. Otherwise, it will be directly printed as it is. For example, if I take minus 12, so absolute value will be printed as 12. Next we have if-else statement. Now what is the syntax of going with if-else statement? In the if-else statement, we have both the parts. We have to provide both the things. If condition is true, then option A. If condition is false, option B. So for this purpose, if test expression, that is the condition, is being written, and if this condition is true, statement block 1 is executed. And if this condition is false, in that case, else part, which is containing statement block 2, will be executed. Either of the condition will get executed, either block 1 or block 2. And after the execution of either block 1 or block 2, statement X will be executed. As we can see in the flowchart also, the test expression is written in the decision box, and if condition is true, block 1 is being executed, and if condition is false, block 2 is executed. And after execution of either of the block, the control goes to statement X. So this is going to be the flow of execution while using if-else block. Now consider one example. So how to use if-else statement in program? So here I am taking the example of to find a larger of two numbers. So in that particular case, user will take input two numbers and either of the number will be larger. So first we will take input from the user A and B. Now what is going to be the condition? If A is greater than B, means the first number being entered by user is greater, then the statement must be printed as A is larger. But if this condition is false, means the second number which is being entered by user is large, in that particular case, else part will get executed, that is B is larger. Okay? For example, if A is entered 56 and B is entered 25, so what is going to be printed? 56 is larger, that is A is larger. So in this way, we can use if and else part, means we have to code for both the parts that if condition is true, certain set of code will be executed. If condition is false, certain block of code will be executed. We can consider one more example, that is to check whether a number is even or odd. In this case also, one number is being input by user. Now condition of for checking even number is being checked, that A modulus 2 is equals to 0. That is, if a number is divided by 2 and we are getting a remainder 0, in this case we can say that number is a even number, otherwise it is an odd number. So based upon the condition written over here, whether the condition is true or false, we will having two different values, two different statements. For true condition, we have even number, and for false condition, we have odd number. Next comes with the nested if-else statement. What is nested if-else statement? When we have multiple conditions to be inculcated within the code. Means if I am choosing or opting one option, then after opting first option, again I have a choice which option to go with. Means for example, if I completed my 10th, after completing 10th, I can opt for two streams, that is science and commerce. So one condition after completing 10th is either to choose the science stream or the commerce stream. Again, if I chose science stream, in that particular case, I again have multiple options. what to do further. I can go with BTech, I can go with BCA, I can go with certain other course or some other courses. So multiple options are there. And third, if I am getting with the commerce part, second else part after 10th. So after doing commerce, again I have multiple options to choose from, either that is CS, either that is CA, either that is ICWA. So I have multiple options to choose from. So again, multiple conditions are being written in the code also. So for that purpose, we have nested if else given with the C. So how this particular code will work upon, that is, whatever is the first condition, based upon the condition test expression 1, if this condition is true, the code written inside this block, if block, will be executed. And again, inside the first if block, if and else statements are written. Similarly, in the else part, that is, if this first expression will get false, in that particular case, else will be executed. And you can see that in else part also, we have if and else statement written. So this is nesting if else statement. So in nesting, we are calling one if into another if. We can see this with flowchart also, that what is going to be the execution or flow of the data. That is, test expression 1 is being checked. If it is true, expression 2 will be checked. If it is true, then block 1 will get executed. If expression 2 will be false, block 2 will get executed. But if test expression 1 gets failed at the initial level, in that particular case, expression 3 will be executed, and based upon its failure or existence, block 3 or block 4 will be selected, and after execution of either of the block, statement X will be executed. Now let's consider one more example with the nested if else, that is to check whether a given year is a leap year or not. So here, what is the concept of leap year? That is, a normal year can be a leap year or not. Similar way, a century year can also be a leap year or not. Not every century year is a leap year, but every 4th century year is a leap year. And in similar way, every 4th year is a leap year. So here we have multiple conditions. First condition is we have to check whether a year is a normal year or a century year. So as we know that century comes after every 100 year. So first condition which is inculcated here is we are dividing the year by 100. So if remainder is 0, it means that particular year is a century year. So if particular year is a century year, now we have to check whether it is a 4th century year or a normal century year. So again, within this condition, it is written year modulus 400, that is, we are checking whether it is 4th century year or not. And else part, it is not a leap year. Similarly, if at initial level we identify or this condition gets failed, in that particular case, that year is a normal year, we come to the else part. Now, as it is a normal year, again we will check whether it is a 4th year or 1st, 2nd, 3rd year. So based upon this, we will again write the condition divisible by 4. If we are getting 0 remainder, then it is a leap year, otherwise it is not a leap year. So this is the example of a nested if else. Next, in the same way, we can have the largest of 3 numbers also. Means again, we are comparing 3 numbers. So first 2 numbers are being compared, then this first number is being compared with the 3rd number. And if it is true, then it is going to be the largest. Otherwise, else part will be executed, in which the 2nd number or the 3rd number is the largest number. Next, last portion of the if else statement comes the else if ladder. What is else if ladder? That is when we have multiple options with us and we want to minimize the conditions being written over within the program. So it is in a ladder form where first we provide the main condition. After checking the main condition, we again provide the condition with else. So with else also, if block is being written, and at the last we go with the else part. If all the condition get fails, then the else part will be executed. So in this way a ladder will be formed. For example, if I want to check whether a given number is positive, negative or 0, so for this a program has been written. We have taken an input n from the user. Now if n is greater than 0, it means number is positive, but if n is less than 0, it is negative, and if it is not positive, not negative, then it is 0 only. So else part it is written 0. So all the conditions are being specified with the if statement, and remaining is printed with the else part. In the similar way, we can compute the roots of the quadratic equation using the formula, using nested if else. Now, as we come to the end of the if statement, so some confusions are being occurred while using if statement. That is the confusing equality and assignment operators. That when we compare two conditions, we have to use double equal to, that is the comparison operator. But we in hurry write single equal to, which do not compare two variables, it will assign the value. For example, it is written if pay code equals to 4, it is assigning the value 4 to pay code. It is not comparing whether pay code is equals to 4 or not. So it will always print the line, because pay code is equals to 4, that will give you the non-zero result. It means the condition is true, and it will provide you the statement to be executed. So these are some of the references from data has been taken. Rest we will complete in the next lecture. Thank you so much.